Third video in 2 days. Aren't you getting sick of me? Alright. Yeah. No political crap this time, just comics. Just comics. First, let me start with the oldest one in my pile. Batgirl number 3. Number Trace. Beautiful cover, I loved it. Yeah. Once again, Gail does a fabulous job writing this. Yeah. She really does. She does a fabulous job. I loved the ending. The ending where she's just left standing on the roof alone. It shows, and it has 2 meanings, if you think about it. Because she's dealing with her having her life on her own, and she's also dealing with being Batgirl. But that's the brilliance that is Gail Simone. You get 2 meanings. You get the first meaning that, okay, she's alone. You know, that Nightwing and her are over. And you get the second meaning, that she's gonna go it alone. There isn't going to be a Stephanie Brown to help her. She'll have to deal with the choice that she made. Beautiful stuff. Real. Just beautiful stuff. And the fact that she can't look at Commissioner Gordon quite the same way. That's brilliant too. That's writing you don't see every day. I mean, because she knows if she looks at Commissioner Gordon the same way and says, "Dad, I need help," that would be admitting defeat. And Barb at this point can't do that. And I love that Nightwing was worried about her, as anyone that has anyone with a disability can relate to. Because you're worried about that person pushing themselves. I mean, yeah, it was a brilliant book. It was. Hopefully, number 4 is just as beautiful, just as, you know, right on. Now, for Resurrection Man, number 5. I love that we get to see Mitch Shelley as a government agent 3 years ago. And they're going on the same premise Batgirl is. That this happened 3 years ago, comic book time. You gotta keep that in mind. 3 years ago, comic book time. And it's kind of the middle from the first adventure. Because Hooker isn't a talking head yet. He's still a guy. Yeah, he loses more body parts as we go. Yeah, basically what happens is that the angel that destroys him in the fourth installment, pushes him to Gotham City Hospital, which at that point they're going to take him to Arkham. It's a giant flashback to what happened 3 years ago for Mitch Shelley. I love how we get a little background on the body doubles, their history and whatnot. I love how they finally explain how Bonnie and Carmen are they want to be considered serious actresses now. Because that was one of their things in their short-lived series, the body doubles, that I never got into. It was short-lived and yeah. It was I'm not going to tell you what happens in the flashback, but it's a good flashback, folks. You should read it. The fact that he picks up the tektites, the stuff from the meteor that crashes in the first run of Resurrection Man. The second meteor explained a lot for me. Yeah, that's something that I've always wondered about. But it turns out the government was at the crash site. For the meteor 3 years ago, comic book time. Speaking of short-lived series, I read Mr. Terrific. It's a shame they're canceling this. It really is. Smartest man in the world. Yeah. Mr. Terrific. But not smart enough to avoid cancellation. Yeah. He fights a, technologically based villain. It wraps up the ending story for the first two Mr. Terrifics, which I'm going to have to go back and read. Yeah. It's a shame that they're canceling this, because this was the last remaining part of the current Justice Society. I mean, what's going to happen to the current Justice Society story now? Now that the Justice Society is supposed to be taking place on Earth 2. I mean, what's going to happen to that? That's why I'm going back and reading it. And from what I can see, you all should do the same. Yeah. I'm going to post that CNN thing you heard in the background of my last video, and you can decide, anonymous, hero, or villain. I mean, they aided the 99%. I know I said no political stuff, but they aided the 99%. And if that doesn't, yeah, make them heroes, I don't know what does. They're more anti-heroes, if anything. Yeah, I guess that's it. Arrivederci. A little